I just realised just how springy and almost like pastel summer colours my March TBR is. I didn't do that on purpose. Welcome to my March TBR. So, I'm going to break down what I want to read in the month of March into 3 different categories. Well, we've got a 4th subcategory here. I'm going to talk about some March releases, some page tune books that are part of my page tune read along, and then some other books I want to get to, which include some leftovers from my February TBR. So we've got a subcategory there. I would like to hear from you in the comments if any of these books are on your TBR, and if not, what else is on your TBR for you to be reading in the month of March. I know we're now a week in, but it's fine, we're good. So first of all, I have Havenfall by Sarah Holland, which is set, I believe, in the Colorado mountains. I have not read it yet. It's on my TBR. This one came out in the US on the 3rd of March. I think in the UK on the 5th of March, if I am correct. I did not research when it came out there. But I have an ebook copy of this one, and I had a signed sampler, which I read and liked the sound of. So I'm really hoping I like the whole thing. Then we have a book which comes out on the 5th of March in the UK, so by the time you watch this it will already be out. I'm on the blog tour for this one and I have it on ebook, and I know I do have a physical book of it waiting for me at home in England, but it didn't make it in time to come across and meet with me in New York. So I know I do have a physical book, a copy of this one, so it will be on my Instagram, which is always linked below. And this is When Life Gives You Lemons by Fiona Gibson. Fiona Gibson writes really funny rom-coms, and so I am looking forward to reading this one. Then also in March, a UK release, we have A Cat Called Cupid by Tilly Tennant, which comes out on March the 26th, and that is also an ebook that I have.
Just after I finished filming this, we had a cover change and a title change, so it is now called The Breakup.
Then we have one which I'm on the blog tour for in March, but was released in February. But I do have a physical copy of it because it was sent to me in England, and then it came across to New York, and then I brought it back here to Denver. It's one of these very well-travelled books. This one was released on I do have the press release here, 6th of February, so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm not on the blog tour for it until when you're watching this video, basically. This one is The Neighbours by Nicola Gill, and the tagline for this one is, to get up from rock bottom, you've got to take the stairs. And this is the first of my pastel-y coloured beautiful books, which if I had When Life Gives You Lemons, it would add to this because it's blue and yellow. But this one sounds really fun, and by the time you watch this I will have read it, and it's under 400 pages, which if you watch my February wrap up, it's kind of important to me this month because I read so many long books in February. So I'm looking for some shorter books in the month of March, which is helped by my next February release, March release, and that is Break Your Glass Slippers by Amanda Lovelace. I love Amanda Lovelace. I have a video talking all about her poetry, and I also have a video talking about other poetry that's kind of like hers. And I'm very, very excited for this one. I've been lucky enough to get the kind of Target special editions of other ones, so I'm hoping that that's what I'll get this year. But you'll have to watch my March book haul and find out. So quick reads. We're speaking of reading things that are less than 400 pages. Quick reads came out in the UK in February, and I have made a video talking about previous quick reads books, but I ordered them all on my Kindle and I read one of them on my Kindle, but here I have the remaining 5 in physical book form, even though I did also read them, but order them on my Kindle. So I have them all in physical or ebook form. We have Notting Hill Carnival, A West Side Story by Candice Carty-Williams, who is the author of Queenie. I have a whole video reviewing Queenie. I absolutely loved it. I'll leave it linked up here. How do you find The One in a Million? So looking forward to reading that one. Then we have one which I kind of already read, but I'm interested to see what they do with the quick read. And this is Going to Hurt, a specially adapted version of the best-selling book by Adam Kay. So this is specially adapted so that it's in quick reads form. So the font is bigger and there's less of it. It's much less intimidating to read. If you are a reluctant reader or somebody who struggles with reading, this is only 70 pages. And I think the paperback was quite a chunky paperback. I did the audio, but I have this. Then we have Queen Millie, The Little Dreams of Lara Cliff. One life-changing weekend. Sometimes the little things in life can make the biggest difference. So this is one I'm excited to read, and I didn't read it first because I didn't have like a chunk of time to sit down and read it all, which is why I read the one that I read in February, which if you watch my February TBR, you'll see which one I read in February. But yeah, looking forward to reading this one. And then we have Darkness Rising, introducing Detective Inspector Harry Verdi, which is by A.A. Dand. And this is what I love about quick reads. I would never normally pick up a book that has this kind of cover because it's about a detective inspector, and that's not normally my jam. This is a bit sticky. I don't know why it's sticky when it comes to reading, but at only 130 pages, I can try a new author, and that's one of the ways that quick reads is just so fantastic. I just love them, and like I say, I made a whole video talking about them. I'm thinking of, once I've read them all, making a video talking about all of them and my thoughts on all of them. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. And then finally, we have I'm just so excited about this one. I have not read a Claire Mackintosh. I have met Claire Mackintosh. I know she is fantastic, but I have not read one of her books. So the fact that she has a quick reads out this year means that I can finally read something by her. This is called The Donor. She gave you everything, and then there's some feathers coming out of there, or seeds. And she gave you everything, but what do you want in return? When Lizzie's daughter Meg is given a life-saving heart transplant, Lizzie feels hugely grateful to the nameless donor. Then she receives a letter from the donor's mother, Karen, asking to meet, and it seems like the least she can do. But as soon as Karen is welcomed into their lives, Lizzie feels something isn't right. And before long, she can't help but worry that by inviting Karen in, she might have to put Meg in danger. Excuse me while I pause this video and go away and read this now. Oh my goodness. And this is under 100 pages as well. So I'm excited to get stuck into my quick reads this March. I'm really looking forward to those, and hopefully I should have some nice slots of time that I can enjoy reading these. Maybe I'll make it a morning reading thing. We'll see. Maybe I'll vlog it. We'll see. It's just full of possibility. A new month. Then we have my page tune read along books for the month. The first of these is a reread for me, and as of filming this, I've already started because when you see this, I will have finished because it's the first book of the month of March in terms of our page tune read along. And this is Pictures of Lily. Lily is has the potential to be a wildlife photographer. It's set in Australia. There are cute koala bears and nice men and that's all you need to know, and it's really fun rereading it so far. The next read in our page tune read along is One Perfect Summer, which I haven't read before, but I do own a physical copy of. This is a little bit longer, definitely a little bit longer. This is 458 pages and it's quite small writing. I might have the audio of this one. We might do it on audio, but this one is Two Soulmates, Three Broken Hearts. Drama. And then following this one, we have One Perfect Christmas, which is in the anthology One Perfect Christmas. It's named for that particular novella, and this one is the sequel to One Perfect Summer, and it is a total of 58 pages long. So I will enjoy reading that one after reading One Perfect Summer. So that's like week 2. So as you're watching this, this is what I'll be reading. And then after that, we have The Longest Holiday, which I read this one on a sun lounger in the UK. How that happened, I don't know, but it was obviously a really nice weekend. And we went to stay at a hotel that had an outdoor pool, and I sat on a sun lounger and read this. What was going on? Ever wish summer could last a lifetime? The longest holiday. I think it's quite self-explanatory. I really enjoyed this one, and it does what Paige does best with her books. It takes you away somewhere else. It takes you on holiday, and you get to enjoy along with the characters. And then beginning in March, but probably ending in April, couldn't think what month came next, we'll have 13 Weddings, which I have also read. From this point onwards, I've read them all. So One Perfect Summer is my last one that won't be a reread for me. After this, I've read them all, which is interesting. Might be a bit different, so they'll all be rereads. But I'm intrigued to read One Perfect Summer and finally be able to read One Perfect Christmas, having had it on my shelf for a long time. But yeah, the last one is 13 Weddings, and then following that we have A Christmas Wedding, which is also a reread for me because I did read A Christmas Wedding when it came out, and it is also inside of One Perfect Christmas, so A Christmas Wedding is in there too. And then I've kind of touched on the start of some of the other books I want to get to, but I have a couple of books checked out from the library, and then I have another slightly shorter book as well, and this is Cinders and Sparks, Goblins and Gold, which is the third book in the Cinders and Sparks series by Lindsay Kelk, and I ordered myself a physical copy of this one so that Mum could bring it over to New York and I could have it here in Denver, since the first two, Cinders and Sparks Magic at Midnight and Cinders and Sparks Fairies in the Forest, so it's quite small on the back there, so I was having to read, will you focus please? I was having to read really small, no it's not going to, it's too much to focus. No. I read those on my Kindle, so I didn't get the joy of like full pictures like this. You get the pictures, but they're not necessarily on the same page as the writing, just because I probably have my Kindle maybe zoomed in a bit too much, I don't know. But excited to have this one to read this month, and it will be another quick read for me because this is middle grade series. Oh, there you go, there's a non-colour picture of book 2, Fairies in the Forest, and book 1, Magic at Midnight, which came out the same day as I Heart Hollywood. Who has a double release day? Jammy or what? But amazing. Yeah, and this one is like 170 pages, almost, and is middle grade. So again, hopefully get a chance to sit down and binge the whole thing from start to finish, and it sparkles and shines. Look at all those sparkly stars. Oh yes. Then I have a couple of library books. I have already read this one, but it was in the month of March. I listened to this one on my flight back from New York to Denver, so last night. This is Clean Getaway by Nick Stone. I'm not going to talk about it now. I will talk about it in my wrap up. And I listened to it on audio, but I do have the physical copy as well. Then other library books I have on audio, but I have them checked out in case they return. We have 19 Love Songs by David Levithan. I have a hit and miss relationship with David Levithan novels, so I will be able to let you know if this one is a hit or a miss this time. And then one that Bethany recommended to me, This Train Is Being Held. I did want to read this one before I was on the subway in New York, but I didn't get to, so it's here now. And I have the audio, and I like the fact that it's got pink trains on it. Like, if you're going to attract me with a book cover, put pink trains on it. And she went to the launch of this one, so very exciting. But yeah, I will let you know how the audio for this one is. And then I have a couple of books which are left over from my January TBR. I want to read Little Fires Everywhere, ready for the TV show of the same name, because it's on Hulu, so I can watch that, and then I can bring you another book versus movie for that one. So I have this one on audio, and I'm going to listen to it before the start of the TV show, which, as you're watching this, I think the TV show will be coming out at the end of the week. It is a TV show, not a film. Yeah, I think it is. yeah, let me know if I'm wrong. Then I have 2 April releases I'm kind of interested in. One of these is Strangers by C.L. Taylor, which I love and I would love to get to read in March, but I don't know what the end of my month's going to look like because there are just a whole lot of things that are way up in the air right now, and they could all happen, or none of them could happen, or one of them could happen, and all of it will affect my reading, and I can't tell you what they are, but just know that I'm sitting here slightly uncomfortable because there are so many things in the air that aren't concrete or decided or anything, and that messes with me a little bit. But anyway, if I get a chance, I want to read Strangers by C.L. Taylor because I've had it on my Kindle for a while, and I love C.L. Taylor and I love her novels, and I know I'm going to love this one, so I don't know why I've been putting it off. I suppose because I normally read her books on planes, and so one of the things might involve travel, so I'm kind of saving it for that if that happens, but if not, I'll have to read it here. Terrible. I did read one of her other books in Denver though, so that's cool. And then I also have Pretending by Holly Bourne, which is another adult novel of hers. I have read her other adult novel, the name of which escapes me at this very moment, but I have not read any of her young adult novels, and she's famous for her young adult novels. And then the adult novel came out and people were loving it, so I need to go back and read her young adult novels. I need to make space in my reading calendar for them, but I just haven't got there yet. I own them all, either on Kindle or physical book, so it needs to happen, and it will happen, but I'm excited to read Pretending. And then I have an audiobook that I have for review, which is called Back to Reality by Mark Stay and Mark Oliver, and has the London skyline on the cover, which intrigues me an awful lot. And I am on a blog tour for this one, reviewing it, so I will need to get to it ASAP. And then 2 held over from January, I have The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, which is a middle grade novel and is a signed copy and was sent to me by my lovely friend Crystal for Christmas, and I'm really excited to read it, and I just didn't have the time to squeeze it in February. Did I say January a minute ago? I obviously meant February, but I'm excited to read this one. And then a Book of the Month Club pick that I also have on audio that everybody's raved about and everybody's loved, and I'm worried about picking it up because of the hype, but my audio is due back at the library soon, so by the time you watch this, I'm going to make a commitment to you. I will have read it in one form or another. At least this is only a January Book of the Month Club pick, because some of mine recently have been way back, but this is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James, and I just need to buckle down and read it, but I'm worried about the hype. You get that. I know you get that. But I love the cover of this one, so I'm really glad to have a physical copy. And as I'm sitting here, it just came out yesterday, so I had an early copy and I didn't do it, and really and truly need to get myself organised and buckle down and read these books. No, that would be no fun. I want to read the books that I want to read at the time I want to read them, where I want to read them, how I want to read them. But these are selections that I have to pick from. As I say, end of the month could be a bit weird. I don't know. I'm unsure. I'll be able to tell you more if anything happens. But having a pool like this of different lengths and different formats and different genres is good, because if I am finding myself traveling or finding myself with more time or less time, then I've got some options there, and I'm really excited about all of them. I want to read them all right now. As I say, let me know in the comments if any of these are on your March TBR, or if not, what is. Make sure you are subscribed, because I have a book haul and a book versus movie video coming your way, as well as other fun stuff this month. So you're not going to want to miss that. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, especially if you've made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye.